Chances are she's watched Nickelodeon's iCarly. It is a ratings blockbuster. And the star of the show, 17-year-old Miranda Cosgrove, is now an iconic figure for many of our children. So who is she? And why is the show such a success? John Donovan now pulls back the curtain on iCarly.
A quick look at some recent TV numbers. 60 Minutes, 7.8 million viewers. Bachelorette, 10.1 million viewers. America's Got Talent, 10.5 million viewers. So how does this little show pull in 12.4 million viewers? iCarly. And that was for a show in January. And what this is a situation comedy for kids. 12.4 million viewers, and it's on cable, no less. Thought up and crafted for Nickelodeon by a one-time teenager playing actor himself. You may remember this guy in the old 80s show Head of the Class.
How about Weenie?
He's Dan Schneider, a man with a gift. The gift of knowing what is funny to people of a certain age, say 12 or 9.
What do you got going that other folks aren't figuring out?
For one thing, I am always trying to outdo the last thing that I did.
The last thing he did? Well, the last few Nickelodeon hits he created included The Amanda Show, Zoe 101, Drake and Josh.
That wasn't us.
Who do you think they're gonna believe? You boobs or me?
Okay, freeze it and zoom in right here. Enough Dan Schneider for the moment, because tell your kids you watched an interview with her, Miranda Cosgrove, who played a kid sister back then, but now she's the Carly of iCarly, the story of a 16-year-old girl in Seattle who makes web shows with her friends Sam and Freddie.
And we're clear.
A show within a show, with a lot of the zany, of course.
Come and get it, Nora!
In reality, Miranda Cosgrove is 17 and a superstar, if you know which universe to look in.
So, I mean, obviously you're on a roll, like a real roll.
Thanks.
And started in Nickelodeon when you were 9, so you've been doing this 8 years.
Yeah.
Are you tired?
No, I have a really great time doing this, and it helps me a lot because I've known everyone for so long.
How are you dealing with actually quite gigantic fame?
It's crazy to me because it's nice because it's been really gradual, like ever since I started. I mean, people used to recognize me for Drake and Josh and different things, but it's never been like now, like for iCarly. Like, I'll go out and tons of people will just come up to me and freak out over the show, and it's really cool and it's exciting. I don't like it sometimes if I don't look good. Other than that, I love it when people come up.
Okay, picking up with Dan Schneider again.
The kid audience is definitely my bread and butter. I mean, that's what I'm paid to do. I'm paid to get kids from all the way from 6 to 14 glued to TV sets. That's my goal. That's the sweet spot.
And actually Dan, and we were able to see this over several days as they put an entire episode together between a Monday and a Friday. This is called the table read. This was on Monday.
Random hair.
Dan comes across as a very nice guy.
Young writer.
And as a result, this comes across as a very happy set to work on.
I think what makes it really fun for me working with young people is that it's fresh and new to them. This isn't their 27th job. This is often their first or second job, or it's one of the first. And they're very excited to be here. And it's all new. Fame is new. The whole process is new. And they're excited to be a part of it.
Dan also has a secret weapon.
This is the housekeeper!
This gun.
What goes off?
Jerry Trainer, who plays Carly's older brother Spencer, with a body like a rubber band.
I can't control it!
And the comic speed of a Robin Williams. Trainer is bound to break out of the TV Kids universe sooner or later, though he's not complaining where he is.
I really believe that the show would be funny if Nickelodeon didn't even exist and this were on, ABC at like 7:30, 8 o'clock, on a Thursday night. I think the family could sit down and enjoy it.
He is, in fact, one of the only adult characters on the show, but is arguably the least mature of any of them. And that's by design.
I don't want to be the token adult on the kids' show where it's like, I'm telling you to eat your vegetables, and that's the moral of the story. Whoops, I slipped on a
You're not Dad Brady.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So here's a question. 12 million viewers. There have to have been a lot of grown-ups in that group. So when does iCarly stop being a kid show?
I don't think of iCarly as a kid show. I think of it as family entertainment. But as of late, in the last few years, we're getting teenagers that are older, college kids, parents, grandparents, a lot of family viewing. And as long as I keep the kid audience, which so far we're doing really well, I consider the other stuff gravy.
There's not a scene that doesn't have Schneider's imprint on it. He is constantly tweaking the jokes, asking for retakes.
What adjustment are you looking for here?
Taking a scene that's already pretty funny and making it a little notch funnier. The reveal of Miranda for the prank, and the reveal of Carly, she was making a very funny face, which was something like this. And I just thought, with the tongue out,
There's more there.
a teeny bit funnier.
Yeah.
It's that type of highbrow comedy that really pushes iCarly over the edge.
In fact, he says it's a challenge to figure out what kids will laugh at.
As I said, I've heard of a lot of writers who will say, oh, you're writing for kids, kids will watch anything, that must be really easy. Actually, kind of harder because your parameters are a lot more narrow in what you can write for a kid show. Sex, politics, religions, all that stuff you have to avoid. We can't make references to anything that happened 7 years ago because kids don't know what happened 7 years ago.
One of the last steps before final taping, a complete run-through where invited guests can watch from behind the cameras, and this is not canned laughter. This right here helps explain 12 million viewers. Nowadays, that's a cultural phenomenon, and Dan Schneider likes that fact especially.
The audience is so fragmented now. You don't have that mass audience watching any show anymore like they used to 20 years ago. Well, it still exists in one place. Good luck finding any kid between the age of 6 and 16 that hasn't seen an episode of iCarly recently. That's the last area of television where there's an entire audience, an entire demographic watching a show.
A demographic, any of whose members, if they are watching this Nightline about iCarly right now live, should listen carefully. Go to sleep. It's past your bedtime. You can laugh in the morning.
Next, our show!
I'm John Donvan for Nightline in Los Angeles.